Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. It's a Sunday morning for me right now, and it's just something about Sundays that are just even more inspirational to me than the other days of the week. And being as though I did start a motivational playlist for survivors of narcissistic abuse, I was like, hey, I think it's time to add a new video to that list, and perhaps every Sunday I will add another video to that, because, positivity can take you far in life, and that is certainly separate from denial. But before we get into all of that, thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if this is your first time, definitely feel free to subscribe. There's over 300 videos here to help you in your healing from narcissistic abuse or any toxic relationship, really. Just understanding abusive relationships, helping you do that shadow work within yourself, because, we're not trying to change the abusers, but we're going to make ourselves healthy and healed from, our interactions. All right, so feel free to subscribe to my channel. Definitely hit the bell so that you'll get notified when I upload videos. I do have a Facebook support group. You're welcome to join that. It's Lakia, Reflection and Progression, Crawford. All right, but I do like for people to inbox me that they're a survivor, because I do get a lot of random requests, and I want to keep the community as pure as possible. If you would like to get coaching from me, because I do offer that service, and I do that over the phone. I do that via FaceTime or Skype, and I even have email coaching. If you're interested in that, you can email CoachLakia@gmail.com. That information is below all of my videos. You can go to LakiaCrawford.com and look at the whole menu. Once you hit the coaching tab, you'll see everything that I offer there and how much it costs, and how to set things up as well. All right. So with that being said, I'm also setting up a Patreon for myself. This will be several notches above the free support group that I have on Facebook. And I will be talking more about that in the upcoming videos once I have it all organized. But, stay tuned for that. And basically, you'll be able to have a monthly membership with me, and there'll be different tiers of levels of that membership that will give you a certain kind of access to me that you don't have with me on Facebook. And it will also have exclusive videos that I'm not going to put on YouTube, and live chats and other types of interactions with me that you won't want to miss out on, especially if you already like what I already do on my channel. Okay, so we're going to take it up a few more notches on Patreon, so stay tuned for that. Also, thank you to those of you that donate to the channel. I appreciate all your donations, even if you think it's a small one. I definitely appreciate that gesture, okay? And that link is below my videos as well. It's a PayPal link. You can Cash App as well. All right, so with that being said, now that I'm basically pushing my announcements to the beginning of my videos, but I highly recommend that you guys always listen to my videos all the way through, because many of you can attest to sometimes something falls into my head at the very end of my video, and it is a big pearl that you would want to hear. So I highly recommend, when you listen to my videos, to listen all the way through. Even when it sounds like I'm about to end the video, you'll see on the time thing that there's like 3 more minutes left, because something fell into my mind, and I'll bring it up after I make those announcements at the end of the other videos. But, I digress. Let's get into this motivational video here on this Sunday. And a lot of times survivors get stuck. They get stuck thinking about their past. We get stuck in the past, that last relationship with that narcissist and everything that has happened, and we feel ruined. We feel defeated. We feel like we lost. We feel like they're riding off into the sunset unscathed, or we're sitting there waiting for their karma, We're heavily focused on that new primary source, and we're just, we're just in a rut. We're just in a rut. But I want to make this video today to give you something to think about. And, this is just my observation in life. And I feel like, it's not so much about that start as it is about the finish. Okay, so when I say the start, it means that how you start your life and the things that you're going through in the beginning of your life. Yes, they do have a way of affecting us later on if we haven't addressed them, but we can address them. We can heal from them, and we can make decisions. We have some control. We don't control everything in our environment. We don't control other people per se, but we do have a lot of decisions that we can claim and take responsibility for in regards to our own lives, to our own feelings, to our own emotions, to our own circle, to our own energy, to our own goals, to our own day. We can make these decisions, but it doesn't have to, we don't have to stay rooted in the past. Because a lot of people have had rocky beginnings in lives, and we can take this outside of narcissistic abuse, and they have a fabulous finish. Right now, everybody's talking about LeBron James. And, look at how he's not even finished, but, if we want to quote unquote, look at the finished results, where his life is right now, as opposed to where it started, of him, never knowing his father and growing up in poverty and on welfare and everything that he's been through. But look at him now. And then when we relate this to narcissistic abuse, it's like a butterfly. I feel like a butterfly right now. And I was in a cocoon when I was in that relationship with a narcissist. I was being purged. I was, going through a process. But eventually I broke out of that cocoon, and I definitely feel like a butterfly right now, in spite of all that stuff that happened to me. And actually, dare I say, because of all of that stuff that happened to me, I was able to learn and grow from that. I used that pain. I used that abuse. I used the circumstances that I faced as a catalyst. This is called making the lemonade out of the lemons in life that we are faced. There's so many examples of people who have had rocky starts, who have come from brokenness and abuse, and look at them now. The most successful people, they have had horrible beginnings and very humble beginnings in life. Do some research on some of the people that you look up to, or that you are just amazed by. I bet you they didn't get through this life unscathed. I bet you they had to get over some rejection, some abandonment, some abuse, some type of turmoil. It's a rite of passage. As a matter of fact, I think the worst things that you've gone through, the bigger your breakthrough can actually be if you are brave enough and encouraged enough to go ahead and take the opportunity, guys. I went through a lot of stuff in my life, but it has put me in a perfect position today to be able to make videos like this for you guys, to be able to start a successful coaching business and touch, thousands and thousands of people's lives. It's because I went through all of that stuff. It's become an asset to me today. Because not only am I having the book smarts of understanding things, but because I've been there and done that, it just adds a whole nother level of compassion and understanding. Because you can go through a training class all you want to at work, but most people, they're going to know through firsthand experience. When I'm training, I like to shadow people. I want to do the stuff that I want to physically do it myself, because that's how I'm actually learning. That's how I learn best, doing it myself. Not just someone telling me. It's a whole different world when you actually have that experience yourself. Okay. So for some of you out there that are feeling defeated, and just feel like your life is over. No, that season of your life is over. And thank God for that. Thank God for that. You don't need to be in that season. You've suffered enough. You've gone through enough heartache, disappointment, disrespect. You've had enough of that. Now it's time for you to stand in your strength and take the lessons and let it make you stronger. You shouldn't be feeling weaker after that. You're going to feel stronger now. The weaker feelings, that's just coming from being in our feelings and our emotions and our ego. That's what that is. But once you heal those things, a strength is going to come out of that if you allow it to. Because some of us are resisting, and we have a lot of resistance in us. Because we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, depending on where you are right now in your healing process, particularly those of you in the beginning. And, you may be like, it's easier for you to say, Lakia, but I've been there and I've done that. So yes, I can say that to you right now. And I can reassure you, if you continue to do the work, if you take the opportunity, you're going to get here as well. It'll be your version of it, not mine. It doesn't mean that you have to start a YouTube channel. It doesn't mean that you have to write books. It doesn't mean that you're called to coach people. But what I'm talking about is the inner peace, feeling whole again. Getting back to genuinely and sincerely feeling happy and not bitter and not resentful. That's what I'm talking about. You can get there. Because you can have that rocky start and you can have an amazing finish. And it actually makes sense that you would have a rocky start, because we're not born knowing everything. That's why they say we can live and learn. And I say can because some people choose not to, like the narcissist. They want to stay in their ignorance. But this video isn't about them. But you don't have to do it. Nobody knows everything. I think I talk to so many survivors that are just stuck on that perfectionism. Nobody's perfect and nobody is without sin, meaning we all make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory of what God has for us because we're human. Absolutely nobody is perfect. You dehumanize yourself when you put all these standards on yourself of being perfect. And then when you make a mistake, you're magnifying it even bigger than you should. Chances are you do better when you know better. Chances are you would have gotten out of that relationship if you were ready to. Chances are you took the pathway, your natural, authentic pathway. If it took you longer than someone else to get out, that was your path. But you're out now. And for those of you that are still in it, when it's your time, when it gets to that point for you, you'll get out of it as well. It's a process. It really is a process. But if you're bumping into my channel while you're still in it, God bless you. Because now you have over 300 videos at your disposal where you can be way ahead of the game here. You're going to be way ahead of the game because I realized my situations in hindsight, not while I was still in it. So you're being blessed to find the information ahead of time while you're in the thick of it. Don't let that go to waste either for those of you that are still in it. But I know that it's a process. That's why a lot of women that are in domestic violence situations go back an average of 8 times. So we can think about the narcissist, and those are narcissists that they're dealing with. Studies are showing that. So even for those of you that weren't in domestic violence situations, and for my men out there, the Hoovers, people are going back. People are going back an average of 7 to 8 times. Sometimes, and not everyone. That's why I just said average. But an average is a pool of all types of numbers, including the people that never went back even for a second one. That's extremely rare. So don't beat yourself up on the back if you did give it that second try, because a lot of times we've made massive investments in that narcissist. Who wants to walk away from something that they invested in? That goes against human nature. So it's understandable, especially if those trauma bonds and those soul ties haven't been broken yet. And especially if that narcissist was telling you everything you wanted to hear, you would want to believe it. Psychology says you would want to believe that, especially after investing so much, especially for those of you that were married. Marriage is sacred. Most people would give it a try and a try and a try and a try before they divorced. I understand these things, but we beat ourselves up over the head. You know, most of us want to give it everything we have before we break, because nobody really wants to start over. I understand that about human nature. But once you get to the point where you really understand that, you know what, you've done everything that you could do to salvage that relationship. But it really does take two at the end of the day. To complete that process of reconciliation, it really does. That other person has to agree as well. And not only agree, but agree to that healthiness. Not agree to the same old, same old. And we just have to let that go. And that's okay. Fresh starts or starting a new season is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to make it better. And yes, better without the narcissist. And that's a great thing. That season is over. That chapter is written. A new chapter of your life is starting now. How will you let that be? Will you spend it living in the past that you cannot change? Or will you begin to walk in gratitude and think of all the positive things that you have going on in your life now? And let that be the catalyst. Let your lessons and your wisdom and your strength, because it takes a strong person to get over narcissistic abuse. You're a lot stronger than you even realize. Or maybe you are beginning to realize your strength, and maybe you still haven't realized all of the strength. We're so much stronger than we realize. But we have to stop with this defeatedness. This is one human being, or for those of you who have had a string of toxic relationships, that's still the tiniest pool of people that are on this earth, of billions of people. Your life isn't over. They're not your maker. I say this in a lot of videos. They're not your maker. That's the enemy. That is the enemy trying to destroy you and your light. They don't want you happy and healthy and stronger. Don't let them win. You have to fight. Yes, you have to fight in this life, because there are energies and sources out there that don't want you thriving, don't want your good energy out here. There's dark energy that wants to take over this world. And they're coming for the good ones. Because if they can get you, if they can defeat you, if they can get in your head, that's one less shiny person out here spreading love. Doing good. You're needed, so you have to get yourself well. But let go of the past. As far as letting it make you feel defeated, like your life is over. Some people are going through divorces after being with this person for 30 years. Yes, I'm coaching people like this. And I tell them the same thing. Their life isn't over. Don't give anyone that kind of power. Now you have a new season where you can drop this dead weight and this toxic energy out of your life. Because it's not necessarily how you start. It's the finish. It is the finish. Because we're growing and evolving. That's what life is about. So how can we just be stuck on our pathway of how we had to come about learning and growing and evolving? Okay, we're doing better. I'm in college right now. I'm not focused with kindergarten. That was back then. Maybe I didn't stand in line. Maybe I needed to learn how to not be so talkative. Maybe I had to learn how to tie my shoes, but I learned that stuff. I done graduated college, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? So it's equivalent like that in life. You were in that stage of your life, but you're not that person. Go talk to someone who's been clean for 30 years. Yeah, I used to run the street. I used to be strung out on drugs, but that's not me anymore. I've grown and I've evolved past that. People grow and people change. And for the better, they can evolve. They can illuminate. They can lift their level of consciousness. And you can too. I don't care how, and I've had to start over from scratch. I've been in situations after narcissistic abuse where I had the clothes on my back and that's it. And I got it all back. I got it all back. So I don't care, what feel like you've been broken down to and what's been stripped or stolen or what you've lost in this process. You can get it all back, including your peace of mind. It's not over. The finish. Focus on the finish. Yes, you started there, but focus on the finish now. Take all the goodness that you can. Take all the knowledge, everything that you've learned, and put that on the finish. All right, guys, that's the message that I wanted to send. I hope that this has uplifted someone, and if it has resonated with you, go ahead and hit the like button. As always, you are very welcome to share any and all of my videos, guys. Take what you can. If you feel like you need personal one-on-one coaching, it's always best to get it from someone who knows better. I do offer that service, and we talked about that in the beginning of the video. Just email CoachLakia@gmail.com, and I will get you set up. It is a great investment in yourself if you feel like these videos are not enough. I know I had to get personal one-on-one coaching, and I used to watch the videos all the time when I was going through my healing process. But one-on-one coaching, yes, it did take my healing to the next level. I ain't gonna lie about that. It really did. So I highly recommend it for you as well, but you have to just be willing to make that investment in yourself. You're going to get massive returns on that, way more than the seed that you have to sow in that investment of yourself. You're going to get it back. Because your happiness, your peace of mind, your healing, those things are priceless anyway. It should be. All right, guys. So you be blessed on this Sunday. And for those of you that are listening on any other day of the week, always, of course, we're going to be blessed every day. But the whole thing is your life is not over. And we're going to focus on that finish, guys. We're going to focus on that. So many people have had, like I said, come from rock bottom. But the rock bottom has made so many more successful and inspiring and beautiful people than any other place. Because it's just something about coming from rock bottom. It gives you that wisdom. It gives you that humbleness. It gives you that humanitarian part. It makes you in touch. You understand. If you were homeless, you understand other homeless people when you see them. If you've been hungry before, if you know where your next meal was coming from, if you've had your electric cut off, if you've been financially devastated, if you were raped, all these things, it helps you be able to connect with humans. It grounds you in a certain way so that when God lifts you back up, you're going to be balanced with that. It's not going to be like this overt narcissist, out of touch and, arrogant in the most negative manner. All right. So, because too much is given, much is required. And life is a process. Life is a process. Stay strong. Stay strong. And your life is not over. Focus on the finish.